Okay, now we can record it. Okay, so I'm glad y'all are on tonight. Thank you. I'm going to share my story. And for those watching the replay, you can ask me any questions that you have that come up. And of course, Carrie and Elizabeth ask me anything. It's a small little group tonight, which I like. So you can ask me within the slides. So my name's Angel Falk for anybody that doesn't know me watching this. And I'm the fitness angel. And I've always been into fitness. I've been teaching fitness for 30 years. I love exercise. It's always just been my happy place. And just encouraging others has always come easy to me. That's what I love to do. Because, I think when we encourage others, it's really better for us, ourselves, right? So it's kind of selfish. But you feel happier when you're an encourager. So, you know, life was great. I had a brain tumor, which was not great. And that's what set me on the path to discover health. So it was life threatening because of the location. It was on my brainstem, wrapped around, I had tails wrapped around my brainstem. So I had a 14-hour surgery. I had to relearn to walk, to talk, to swallow everything. But God healed me. I believe God healed me and I did great. I came back a lot faster. They said it may be a year and a half before I was back to living life normally for me. And I was in the gym in 6 weeks. So I wasn't really
Wow.
doing a lot in the gym. Now I couldn't drive. My
Sure.
vision was still off. And my husband literally propped me against the wall and put dumbbells in my hand. I just wanted to be there. So I always encourage everybody, get in an environment where you can get healthy. If you stay in a toxic place, you won't get better. If you stay in bed, you won't get better. You have to do what you can do. And I knew I could get up and get to the gym. So somehow I mustered up the strength and did that, and I got better. But sadly, a year later, the tumor grew again, and I had to have radiation. And that made me really, really sick. I did fine throughout my 27 sessions, but then about 2 weeks later, sorry, I have this for my dog. It was about 2 weeks later, my hair fell out, my face had spots everywhere. And then, sorry about the dog.
Mm.
And I just knew after all of that, and I finally got better, I knew I had to do something different. That's what really started my healthy eating plan. So I went plant-based and I started Juice Plus and I got in the community and started listening to doctors and dietitians all the time and really improved my health quite a bit. But I never counted calories. I never worried about weight or size. I just never really had to. I've never been a skinny person, but I've never been a huge person either, just kind of an average size. But that's when menopause hit. We moved to a new community. We left our house of 20 years where I raised my kids. My two little dogs passed away. I see your
Mm.
doggy in the back seat, Carrie. I had a little Chihuahua and a Shih Tzu, and they both passed away within a year, and I got really depressed. And when we moved, it was hard. It was the pandemic. None of my neighbors were outside. It was like a different world. And I had to readjust. The gyms were shut down. I couldn't go work out. I started teaching on an app, but they only wanted very short beginner classes. So felt like I was barely doing anything. So I started packing on the weight and I really got depressed. And now I'm going to share my screen to get into what I did to lose that weight. Let's see. Here we go. So this is all about menopause weight loss. So I really love helping women who have been through menopause because it does change you. The hormones, all of that makes a huge impact. So it took me about 6 months to get my health back, my mental health, get my hormones all leveled, and feel strong again. So over here on the left was my heaviest, and then over here, I wanted to get back to 140. That was my healthy size, but it's like I got my momentum up when I started losing the fat and getting stronger and lifting weights, and I felt so good. I thought, you know what? I weighed 125 in college. And if you look at the BMI chart online, you can find your height and your healthy weight range. So my healthy weight for 5'8" is 125 to 150. So, I have, as an adult, I was in 140s and that was fine. But I thought, I wonder if I could get to 125 again. And that's what I've got to. And that's what I weigh now. And I'm maintaining. And I love it. I feel so much better. Everything's easier when you're lighter. Everything is easier. You can do more. Um, but I love saying this, love yourself, enjoy the journey. You're worth it. Look for non-scale victories too. In my group, we're always posting non-scales. And one of the girls today, Jessica's her name, I post her on Facebook and Instagram a lot because she's so encouraging. But she said, y'all, my pants are literally falling off. And that's a good feeling, right? And that's not about the scale. It's a non-scale victory. So I put in this little green box, take photos regularly because it's good. You can see it in your face when you start losing. Record your weight, keep track of it and measure your waistline. Your waistline is a huge predictor of your health. If your waist is too big, it can really be increasing your risk for diabetes and all kinds of other health issues because that's the visceral fat around your organs, and that's the dangerous fat. So that's what we are working on in my group, in my coaching program. So proper, I don't know why this little black box is at the top. Do y'all see that? I don't know how to get rid of that. There it goes. Okay. Proper nutrition. Y'all, what we eat is probably the hugest part of this. So I put eat real whole food and limit processed foods as much as possible. And that takes practice and time. It's not done overnight. But getting rid of the crackers, the cookies, the chips, all of those things are going to help you so much. And it's not about a particular diet. A lot of people are vegan, vegetarian, keto, carnivore, paleo. There's so many diets. But if you could stick to eating real food, whether it's animals, vegetables, or a mix, I do both. I eat animals and I eat the plant-based foods. But that is what we need because all the processed foods are what cause us to store toxins. Toxins store in fat. So the more fat you have, the more toxins you probably have as well. And then, so what I recommend everyone is to download the Lose It app. Now, some people use different apps. There's a lot of different apps to track your food and track your calories and track your macros. But I like Lose It because that's what I started with, and I just really enjoy it. It's easy, it's intuitive, it makes tracking your food so easy. And consistency is the key. So it's not something you just do every now and then. If you want to do what I'm doing, you have to track your food every day. And by making it a daily habit to log your food, you'll gain valuable insights into your eating patterns, helping you make informed decisions. So when they say just eat healthy and move more, that's so vague. The numbers show you what you're really getting. So it's important if you want to lose body fat to get into the numbers. And what we want to do is get in a calorie deficit. So what is a calorie deficit? When you consume fewer calories than your body burns. So you got to eat more than you're burning. I mean, eat less. I'm sorry, I said backwards. So you know what I'm saying. You've got to put less in your body than you're actually burning. And how it works, the body uses stored fat for energy, leading to weight loss over time. So if you eat less, your body's going to use that up. It's just really common sense. So women lose muscle and bone density during menopause, and we need to focus on building the muscle. So we want to lose the fat, right? But we want to gain the muscle. So how do we do that? We add strength training, and protein makes the difference. So it's not just about the calories, but that is part of it. So back to the strength training and the exercise. Strength training is the most important part of your exercise. So we've got to build muscles. And then I also put stay active, avoid stressful cardio. So as we age, we need to cut out things like running marathons, spin class, Orange Theory, those kind of classes, because they actually build stress up, which raises your cortisol, which makes you have belly fat. And when you do a lot of intense cardio, you could start burning off your muscles. It'll start eating away your muscles. So consistency over intensity. So what I do now is I do strength training several days a week, and I take breaks in between because your muscles grow on your rest days. And then on the days, really every day, I shoot for 10,000 steps. But everybody, you start where you start. If you're at 2,000 steps a day, you try to get up to 3,000 and then 4,000, all the way up until you can get to 8 to 10,000. And then for the protein, aim for 1 gram of protein for every pound of your ideal body weight. So I like to find my ideal body weight on the BMI chart. So, like I said, for 5'8", it's 125 to 150. So if I want to weigh 125, I need to eat 125 grams of protein a day. Now, if you're trying to get to 150 and 150 grams of protein a day is too difficult, and it will be in the beginning if you choose to do this. So you start with trying to get 100 and then you just work your way up. And I teach you, and I have recipes that are high protein. And it's really, once you get over the learning curve, it becomes easy. Now, counting macros. For a long time, people were telling me to do this, and I didn't want to because I don't like numbers and it just seemed like too much. But it's really simple if you break it down. So your fats, healthy fats like avocados and nuts, that's really important because it feeds your brain. Carbs provide you energy. Now, when I say carbs, I'm talking complex carbs. So carbs can be broken down into two groups, simple carbs and complex carbs. Simple carbs are your crackers, your cookies, your cakes, your sugary sweets. That's what we don't need. But the complex carbs are your fruits, your vegetables, beans, things like that. They have a lot of fiber in them, and fiber is your friend. Okay, so complex carbs are good, and that gives you energy. And then we have our protein, which builds the muscle. And so we need all of these. And then carb cycling is something I've added because when you get into menopause, your body is going to stop making any progress if you do the same thing over and over and over. And it really happens earlier, like in your 30s and 40s. If you're doing the same workout over and over, you can quit seeing results. If you eat the same foods over and over and over, you can stop seeing any changes. So what I do is carb cycling, which is having low carb days. It will help your hormones and your metabolism. We call it metabolic switching when we alternate between fat burning and sugar burning. So when you're low carb, you're burning fat. When you're high carb, you're burning sugar. So you go in and out of those systems. Okay. And then once you get that habit down, we start the intermittent fasting. So I started doing that years ago with our Juice Plus company. We do a program called The Shred, and it recommends everyone starts with 12 hours of fasting. So I've been doing that a long time, and it's really easy. But it helps prevent heart disease, diabetes, lowers inflammation. I didn't even spell that right. Lowers inflammation, increases fat loss, improves brain health, and more. There are many, many benefits to intermittent fasting. And once you get 12 hours down, that would be like eating from 7 in the morning to 7 at night, and then just not snacking before bed. Once that gets easier, then you can extend it. You can fast for 15 hours. And then when you get to 17 hours, you start having autophagy, which is when the cells that could lead to cancer, that make you age faster, those cells get eaten away at 17-hour fasts. So that's very beneficial. And then we get into 24-hour fasts and 36-hour fasts. So it just takes practice and time. But in my group, women are doing this, women who have never fasted before. And it's so exciting to watch the results come. So what I want everyone to do, whether you do my program or any program, is set yourself up for success. And that includes having accountability. You need somebody that you're accountable to, that you're telling what you're doing that's cheering you on. Your mindset. If you say, I can't do that, then you can't, right? That's the way it
Mhm.
works. If you say, I can do it, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, you can do it. It's
Yep.
that simple. It really is all in your mind. And then meal plans and workouts. You need these things to help you. There's so much confusion on the internet that you could drive yourself crazy trying to look at all this stuff yourself. So I had this visual. I don't know where I got this. It's not my original, but I love this picture. It says, imagine yourself 6 months from now. Don't stop. It will be worth it. So you have to have that vision of what you want. And I tell everybody, we even make vision boards. If you can find a picture of yourself the way you want to look, or find a picture of somebody else and just take their head off and put your head on it and look at that every day, it will really help you. Everything starts in your mind. You have to imagine where you want to be. And it took me about 6 months to lose the weight. So I tell people, give yourself time. In my program, you can expect to lose 10 to 50 pounds depending on your goal and consistency. Coaching brings results, one-on-one coaching or group coaching. So what's included? Individual setup call. I do that with everybody. I help you get on the app. I help you get your calorie deficit and everything you need. I am there to support you 100%. And then daily check-ins. So in my group coaching, we have a Facebook group and we do Zoom calls once a week. And every day we're posting what we ate. We do screenshots from the app that we're using. It's really fun and everyone encourages each other. For the ones that want to work with me one-on-one, it's just me and you. But I like those daily check-ins to help you because, like I said, it's a learning curve. You're not going to be perfect right away. I'm going to have to help you. And then meal plans and workouts. I provide that for everybody. I provide 3 strength training workouts. You only need dumbbells. Everything I do, you can do with dumbbells. And then the meal plans, I have a 4-week meal plan with a grocery list and directions on how to prep. Recipes are awesome. They're all high protein and low carb, which is great. You can always add extra fruits and veggies on your high carb days. And then I have a summer retreat, and it is full this for this summer, but I want to do that every year for my coaching group. We are going to have a blast. We're going to Gatlinburg Friday evening through Monday morning. We have a huge cabin with a pool, and it's just going to be so much fun. So I really want to pour into those I'm coaching. What else is included? I kind of said this already, but unlimited calls and texts with me and my support. Healthy recipes formulated by a registered dietitian with macros included, a 4-week meal plan with grocery lists and prepping directions, 3 strength training workouts every week you could do at home with dumbbells. So that's simple. And I would love to be your coach. Let's schedule a chat. So that's my presentation. I tried to keep it simple. I see Lisa's on. Carrie had to leave. Lisa, tell Elizabeth what you've enjoyed about the program.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, wonderful. Now I was glad to hop on tonight. Just got it's nice to have the refresher too with Angel. So
good.
no, yeah. I really enjoyed just the accountability with the like we have a weekly group meeting and just hearing the other women's stories and then it kind of encourages me and keeps me on track. But it's really like the first time when I met Angel a couple years ago, I was probably 20 pounds heavier. And so I lost about 15 then. And so now I'm like back and I'm trying to lose 10 more. So I'm about halfway there, I'd say. So, which is
Yay.
exciting. But I've also really this has really encouraged me to firm up and do the weightlifting this time. Because now that I'm, losing the weight, I feel like I want to be more toned.
Yeah.
So that's what, yeah, yeah. So that's really a whole pack, weight loss and toning. So it's really giving me just some motivation. I know I need to be accountable every week. So
Good. I love hearing that. Yeah, accountability's huge.
Are you there?
Um, yeah, can you hear us?
Oh, we froze.
Okay, I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Oh, okay.
We
I
can
think we
hear you.
froze. Okay, great. I think we froze for a minute. But anyway, yeah, that's what I just wanted to kind of share that. Yeah, I'll share my experience. So,
Thank
How
you.
long have you done it?
when did we start? In
We started
January?
in January.
Yeah. I have a very stressful job this time of year, so I feel like I haven't focused as much on the weight loss, but now that spring and summer are coming, I told her in swimsuit time, so I've been able to maintain at least even through through stress, even
She's
if
an
I haven't.
accountant, so tax season
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
yeah,
rough.
that makes
But
sense.
oh yeah, but so at least I haven't, gained weight and just went crazy eating. So, but now I can refocus a little bit and try to lose the rest of the weight. I think so. It's nice, yeah.
Yes.
Just if you want to do it, kind of be more maintenance, or if you want to actively lose weight, you can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, most of the women have there's like, I don't know, probably half the women are posting every day, and you really get out of it what you put in it.
Yes. Yes.
And
Very
those
much.
that are really active, I have been seeing losing 15 pounds, 20 pounds, 10 inches. Jessica's lost 10 inches. And today she posted, I think I told you, Elizabeth, already, but she put a funny post. She said it was a non-scale victory. She's falling, her pants are falling off. And I thought that
Yeah,
was so funny, but it feels so good when your clothes feel better.
yeah,
That's usually one of the first things that you see. My pants are just pulling up a little easier, and you just feel so
yeah,
much lighter. And when you start
yeah,
seeing your definition in your muscles, it feels so good.
yeah.
Love that. So yeah. What
Well,
questions?
I do Pilates. I'm
Yeah,
a member of Club Pilates
yeah,
in Hendersonville, and we do like, we do weights, but we also do like a lot of resistance bands.
yeah.
It's like with the reformer, like
Right.
your,
I teach a fat burning Pilates class, and I like it, but really to see difference, you're going to need to get some heavier weights to
okay,
see a real difference in your body. I mean, Pilates is great, I think, for toning and stretching, but to really get stronger and build that muscle and raise your metabolism, the heavier weights are really a game changer.
okay. Well, my husband has a full gym in our basement.
Girl, that's awesome.
So yeah, I have access to lots of weights.
That is
And
great.
you
I
said you
usually,
just do the dumbbells.
yeah, I do all kind. I do an upper body day. So we'll work biceps, triceps, shoulders, chest, and back. And we start out doing more repetitions, and then we start doing fewer repetitions to get the heavier weight. So like 20s, 25s, and then, but we start with eights, tens, a little bit lighter. But
Right,
once you start with the lighter weights and you'll get stronger pretty fast, then you can
right.
move up to the heavier weights. Yeah, I love it. And for the legs, we do a lot of squats and lunges and bridges, hip thrusts. Those are really good. And your butt and your legs are your largest muscle groups. So when you work those, you're burning more calories. Your heart rate's going to get up more because it's more blood flow. And it just really feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other questions do you have?
I don't know. I've just been like, I'm real bad about falling into these traps of, I'm going to buy this supplement that's on Instagram, and
Yeah,
it's
there's no
going to help.
magic pills.
No, and it's not. And I've learned my lesson
Yeah,
with
I
that.
wouldn't buy any supplements. Now, I do take supplements, but I don't push them. Like I take my Juice Plus, but I'm not like pushing it in the group. Um,
Right,
but we do share what we take. I mean, I started taking creatine because it does help you lean out and build more muscle. I take collagen for joints and hair and that sort of thing. Then I've been taking vitamin D3 for years and years.
me too. Me too.
Yeah, and when I was eating plant-based, I added vitamin B and B12, which I may not even need those. I still take those though for
I
energy.
take B12.
Yeah, it gives you energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I take it in the morning.
Yeah. And I take my
And
Juice Plus and my Omegas. I think that's it.
yeah,
But I
I just
just,
found out that there's a drink,
yes, the
a
Juice
juice
Plus
plus
drink, I love
drink.
it.
Oh
I
my
started
God.
taking it now. I have it.
I can't stand taking all those pills. And
Yes.
I've gotten better about it because I like committed to doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, people say they take their vitamins. Well, it takes me like 5 minutes to sit down because I have a real strong gag reflex
Yes.
and I can't just throw them in and take them.
Yeah.
I can take it on an empty stomach, but I usually take them later in the day. I should probably start out taking them earlier, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, you might like that drink
Yeah.
because it's just a
Maria
stick. You
told me
just pour
about
it in
it,
your water, and that's your fruit, veggie, and berry. So you don't have to take those capsules when you do that.
and it tastes good.
Yes, it tastes like grape juice,
Oh my
and it
gosh.
only has 1 gram of sugar.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah, and I'm
awesome.
thinking when you go to a juice bar, they're like $8 or $9, but the stick's
Yeah.
only like $2.67 if you get the 4 month supply.
And
And
you just does it come separated into different does it come
I'll show
like
you. Hang on just a second. I'll show you. It's just a little stick. It looks like a pizza stick. So this would be like a month supply. So you just open the box and it has a little stick like this.
okay.
You just tear it off and pour it in water, and you can put it in a water bottle and shake it and drink it. Or if the first 5,000 people get a free frother and you just put it in there and it froths it up for you.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah, I have that. But I love it. Yeah, but
Okay.
it's really about, if I could break it down to 3 steps: calorie deficit, protein, and strength training. Those are the main things. So if you wanted to work one-on-one with me, we would
Mhm.
start with calorie deficit and logging the food. And I
Okay.
would teach you that
So
because
how
you'll
do
be,
the prices run
yeah,
for
the one-on-one is $600 for 6 weeks. So it's about $100 a week, which would be like having a trainer. But we're gonna text every day and do
okay.
1 call a week. And then, of course, if you need to,
Wait, $600 for 6 weeks? Is that what you said?
yes, yes. So that's for one-on-one. And people who don't like to do Facebook, or they just prefer just to work with me and don't really want a whole group. Like the
Mhm.
one-on-one, right now I have 3 people I'm working one-on-one with. And I love it. I love it. And then also the group, Lisa's in the group, and I love the group. That's for people who are more into group settings. So, and it's fun for accountability, and you're learning from each other. It's not just
Sure.
me,
Now
right?
how much is that?
What's that?
What's the difference in the
Oh, the
price?
price in that. So that's 147 a month. 147 a month. And it's a 6 month program. So after 6 months, you should have established all these healthy habits. And I
Okay.
give you, of course, the recipes. You always have access to that. Um,
And
and
you get that with either program
yes, yes, you get the
and the
recipes and
workout.
the workouts. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I just send you a video. So if it's one-on-one, I just send you the video. And I have one person who likes to work out 5 days or 6 days a week, but I recommend at least 3 days. So I send 3 workouts a week. And on the other days, I recommend you walk 10,000 steps.
Okay.
So I
I
help.
just bought a weighted vest
Oh, good. I have one too.
because my doctor told me that it was really good for lots of different things.
Yeah, it helps with
And
bone
so,
density, which is
yeah,
huge when we get
yeah,
our age. We start losing.
right. Yeah. And so I just got it and I tried it. I just wore it. I wore it a little bit yesterday and then I walked with it today.
Yeah,
And because she said you burn more
you burn more
fat,
calories. Yeah,
calories because you're heavier because you
yeah,
have this vest on.
exactly.
So I'm just trying to incorporate some of that stuff. And then like with the breast cancer, like I read labels, which I know you do too,
Mm-hmm.
but like there's soy in so many things and I can't have soy. I
Yeah,
mean, I can if it's pure. And I mean, it's not like I'm gonna nothing's gonna happen to me if
right,
I
right.
eat soy. But if I make it a habit,
And
it's
you
it
have to stay away from the overly processed soy.
right.
If it's not processed, if it's minimally processed and it's clean, it's good. But I get what you're saying because it's hidden in everything. I don't do processed veggie burgers anymore. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I eat real meat. I make
Yeah.
sure it's grass fed, it's organic. I get the
Hmm.
healthiest I can, and I eat a lot of fish,
Yeah.
like wild salmon. Yep, I eat a lot of that. And of
Where do
course,
you live?
I live in Murfreesboro, so I'm not too far from you.
Oh, so you were in Franklin,
I
right?
was in Franklin. We moved
Okay.
4 years ago.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're in Hendersonville.
Yeah, that's a nice area.
Yeah, it is. Um, but we have a Costco now,
Good. I get a lot of Costco.
and so we get I get a lot of fish and meat from there.
Yeah, we do too. Organic chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's different now. Like, are you an empty nester?
Yes.
Yeah, we are
Except our
too.
daughter moved out and then she moved back. So we got her back.
Yeah. Well, we are. The triplets all left at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but we don't buy a lot of the stuff that we used to buy.
Yeah, good. It's easier when they're gone. It really
Yeah,
is.
it is. I mean, I
Yeah,
love them being around, but I'm like, don't bring that in my house. I'm not
right.
paying for that. Like, you know, so anyway, I'm gonna think about it, and money may be an issue, but I do like what you're saying, and I've been listening to Casey Memes. You know who that
Okay. I
is?
think I've seen her. Yeah.
Um, but just how, I mean, do you recommend any like to
I like,
detoxification stuff?
not really. I think if you're eating clean and you're staying away from the processed food, staying
Hmm.
away from your at home stuff, like there's a lot of things with perfumes and scents and all
Hmm.
that kind of smelly stuff that is
Oh
not good
yeah,
for you.
right.
Those plug-in things in your house and a lot of the
No, I
cleaning
don't use any of that.
supplies
I
have all.
use doTERRA like essential oils,
So I'm
but I
sure
don't
you've
use.
learned all about that. Yeah, as
Yeah,
long as
I
you're
don't use
staying
all that.
away from that highly toxic stuff and your lotions and your makeup, just trying not to use the toxic parabens. And
Yeah,
I don't use deodorant with the parabens and the aluminum and all
yeah.
that. And I'm
I
sure,
use the environmental working group,
okay,
the EWG. Is that what it is? Are you
okay.
familiar with that?
I have a brand, well, I bought Tom's before, and then there's
Yeah,
another one. It has watermelon scent, but it's like pure and natural. I forget what it is, but I found it. It has none of the bad stuff in it.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't use, you have to be careful what you use. And I think with doTERRA and Juice Plus, you probably learned so much about that. But I don't really do detoxes.
right.
I don't do juices or any of that because all the sugar.
Oh
Um,
yeah, me either.
yes,
I
I don't.
can't drink anything that's green.
Okay, okay,
I can eat it all day long, but I can't drink it.
okay. Yeah,
It's
I think we just
just
have to, and when you start logging your food and you see the numbers, that really makes a difference. And you know how
mhm,
many calories you can have a day, and if you go over that, you're going to gain weight. If if you eat enough protein, you're going to start to see more muscle and you get leaner because when you
mhm.
eat protein, you're burning more at rest. It's a high
Okay.
thermogenic food. And
Mhm.
that's something that I love. I mean, I just love it because you're eating protein and you're losing. So when you join the group, we talk about all these things. And
Okay.
some of the doctors I like are Dr. Mindy Pelz, Pelz. I would look her up. She talks about fasting. We do a lot of fasting, and that the body fat just starts coming off when you start fasting. And also, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, Lyon. She's really, really good about making sure you have enough protein and build your skeletal muscle. She worked with geriatrics and
Oh,
she saw the frail, pitiful ones didn't have any muscle on them. They died
okay.
early. If they fell and broke a hip, they died within 3 months. So she
I
really
work for,
helps you.
I'm a caregiver, so I see
Yeah, so
that.
she emphasizes the strength training and eating the protein.
Okay.
And she's been a medical doctor for about 20 years. Very smart. So there's a lot to be said for that. And that's kind of my go-to people. Carrie,
Okay.
I see you popped on again. We lost you for a few minutes, didn't we?
Okay. Well, I enjoyed it, but I'm going to have to hop on to my
Okay.
other meeting and we'll
Okay.
be
Yes,
in
I'm so
touch.
sorry.
That's okay. Elizabeth, I'll follow up with you.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
honey.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
So, Carrie, I'm going to stop this
Yes, ma'am.
recording.